TNT Tropang Giga hope to finally gain momentum with a new import in the Governor's Cup. TNT fielded Erin Fuller in their win against the Rain or Shine Lasso Painters on Sunday. Fuller replaces Mackenzie Moore, who was TNT's import in their first 3 games in the conference. Fuller played 38 minutes in his TNT debut, scoring 13 points and also grabbing 10 rebounds. This is Fuller's 3rd tour of duty in the PBA. He previously played for the NLEX Road Warriors in 2018 and then the Blackwater Elite in 2019. TNT has been up and down so far in the Governor's Cup, going 2-2 in their first 4 games. And I got to speak to TNT assistant coach Josh Reyes. He shares his assessment of the team's performance. He also talks about their decision to change imports in the conference.
Well, of course, there's a lot that we need to improve on. But for the most part, we actually cannot complain about where we are. Mm-hmm. Coming into the season, we knew that we were going to struggle. It won't be smooth, so we just had to find ways to win games. So if you watch all our games, we could have actually easily been 4-0 in the standings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But on the flip side, we could have also easily been 0-4. So so that's why we're saying we can't complain. But with what we had, we know the things we need to work on, and hopefully this little break can allow us to address those things.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's start with your import situation, because TNT replaced your initial import, Mackenzie Moore, with Erin Fuller. Unahin natin si Mackenzie, Coach Josh. What happened to him exactly? I know he's also nursing an injury, but again, no excuses. Pero was that the primary reason for him to be replaced, or was it also his play on the court? What happened there with Mackenzie Moore?
Well, a lot of things happened. It wasn't one thing.
Okay.
To give you a background,
Sige.
We brought Mackenzie in with the knowledge that we'd probably have a shortage of point guards in our roster at the beginning of the conference.
Yeah.
Kib is out, having undergone his meniscal surgery. Brian Heruela actually just came back because he also started the year with an injury. He ended last conference with an injury, and he took he needed time off to heal his foot. Mm-hmm. So we knew coming in that we might have a shortage of point guards. That's why we got an import who can play the point, who is a point guard actually, in Mackenzie Moore.
Okay.
And we knew that he's a great guy, great character guy. He will fit well with the chemistry or the ongoing chemistry of the team. So that's why we brought Mackenzie in. The thing is, we didn't. Unfortunately, he suffered an injury even before the conference began, and that really hampered his play, and it showed in his production. If this were a long conference, long season, then we could have stuck with it, and we are. He's still here on reserve duties, but right now, of course, we needed somebody who can go 100%, and the one who's readily available to fly in, go through the quarantine without any qualms, walang masyado reklamo, was Erin Fuller. So that's the situation we have now.
So you tapped Erin Fuller, and then sabi mo walang qualms whatsoever. He had to go to the quarantine, the process. Mm-hmm. Ito si Erin Fuller, but why tap him? Was familiarity with the PBA a factor, given that, this is already his 3rd tour of duty sa PBA? Kasama din ba yun sa finactor in na, okay, si Erin Fuller sanay na yan eh. Alam niya na yung pisikalan ng PBA.
Yeah, of course. Also, the thing is, when you're getting a replacement import, meaning an import who will play right away, kahit wala pang practices, you need a known commodity. So somebody who we kind of know that what he's going to bring to the table, na parang ano na given na what he's going to bring. We know that he'll, at the very least, we know that he will get us a ton of rebounds. He will give us the energy, and we Kelly has been doing a great job for us. But
yeah.
It's tough to rely on Kelly day in day out games, having him play over 35 minutes, and that's that will take a toll on it. So we also need somebody who can defend other imports, especially down low on the block.
Yeah. And si Kelly, 'di ba, pinag-uusapan natin galing din sa yung injury niya, yung back spasms niya, 'di ba? 'Di ba, coach? So and Kelly's up there in age. We know what Kelly can bring, and Kelly gives it 100 all the time. Pero yun nga, you can't kumbaga 35 minutes plus every single game for Kelly. I think that's going to be really that's going to take a toll on his body. Eto si Fuller, younger, mas kumbaga energetic din. Etong si Erin Fuller, Josh, so far, after watching him play for you guys, mukhang siya na ba yung magiging import you throughout? Or is it, kumaga, too premature to tell? Will Mackenzie Moore be back? I mean, I don't know. Ano yung magiging, or is it game-to-game, day-to-day basis yung import situation?
Well, we're hoping na siya na. We're hoping that it works out for the best. We will continue to assess the situation. Of course, it's much easier if we can stick with Aaron through the whole thing. He's very low maintenance, very, very, what do you call this? Great character as well. Ang daling pakisamahan, and he won't have any problems gelling with our local squad. So, we're hoping that it works out. Of course, as coaches, it's our jobs to never keep the door shut. But of course, continue to work on what we have.
So far, itong si Erin Fuller naman dun sa system and sa schemes nyo, kasi I know you guys run a lot of schemes. Actually, yung mga brilliant defensive schemes nyo. How is he so far adapting to those, kasi dami yung, alam ko ikaw mismo, dami yung mga defensive schemes and yung mga offensive plays, yung mga ball movement and yung dribble drive. How is he so far? I'm sure you still, kumaga hindi pa 100% yung gusto nyo pa talaga na, ma-fully adapt niya yung sarili niya dun sa system ni Coach Cho at ng coaching staff ng TNT.
Well, honestly, Andre, we don't know yet. Kasi we did things very limited. We had very limited or very basic schemes last game. Aaron almost gave us a heart attack last game because medyo naiwan niya si Henry Walker for a possible game-winning three. So that was one thing. But of course, we'll learn for that. But so far, it looks like naman na he will be able to adjust quickly because one of our coaches, Coach Sandy Araspacochaga, who's with us again right now, worked with Fuller before at NLEX, and he says that he's really a great practice guy. He practices hard. He focuses on practice, and there will be no problem asking Aaron to do whatever we ask him to.
In part 2 of my conversation with TNT assistant coach Josh Reyes, we talk about the Tropang Gigas' upcoming game. That will be against the winless Northport Batang Pier. Welcome back to Sports Desk, only here on CNN Philippines. The TNT Tropang Giga came into the PBA Governor's Cup without some of the players who had crucial roles for the team during their title run in the Philippine Cup earlier this year. Among them, their starting forward Troy Rosario suffered several injuries during the finals of the All-Filipino Conference. Now, in part 2 of my conversation with TNT assistant coach Josh Reyes, he gives us an update on Rosario's health. He also looks ahead to the team's next game, which will be against the Northport Batang Pier.
The timeline is still not fixed. We're giving Troy all the time he needs because the main thing is him to get back healthy. We don't want him to rush things and then come back to the team still limping. The main thing about Troy was you already mentioned that he was really banged up, especially after the fall he took in the finals and he gave it a go to try to play again. Of course, your body starts to compensate. Nag-compensate yung katawan niya dun sa likod niya.
Ayun,
So what
likod,
happened
oo.
was bumigay yung kanyang groin.
Ah,
So that's the main thing. So that's the injury that's taking quite a while to heal because it's a tear. It's almost like a
ah,
full grown tear. So we don't know,
yeah.
and the only way to treat that is through rest. So it's we're constantly, well, our medical team is constantly evaluating his status, how his healing is going. So far, his body is responding well. So far, he's healing. So far it's actually getting better by the day or by the week. So that at least is promising. But as far as a definite timetable of return, it just really depends on how quickly it will heal. Of course, after it heals, that's the only time he will start his conditioning, his on-court training, because he hasn't even started doing individual skill work on the court yet. So that's one thing. So medyo matagal pa
Ah.
ang huli nito.
Yeah, tama naman. Pinapanood ko nga ulit yung bagsak niya nung sa Philippine Cup yung likod niya nga, yung tingling sensation, sabi,
Yeah.
yung finger talagang but if there's one tough guy, ito si Troy Rosario. But again, like what you said, you don't want to rush him also. Your next game though, so you have a little break because of the holidays. January 6 pa, Coach Josh. It will be against the Northport Batang Pier. What is the team looking to adjust, especially, since you have a bit more time between games? I know you said Fuller will be practicing, kumbaga, with you guys na you have ample time to prepare for that game because of the break we have. So what are you looking to adjust on your part, Coach Josh?
Well, basically, getting the fluidity on our offense again. We are actually missing Troy more than we thought on offense because just Troy, him running the floor, his activity down low, his familiarity with the offense. He gives us a lot of speed in the front line. And then, of course, with having Kib and Q, Brian Hiruela limited, that's also hampering us. So hopefully, number one, we can use this break to get healthier. Number two, get the fluidity back. How we can fill in the gaps that we are missing. Hopefully, we can get Erin Fuller doing the things that Troy did for us and even more, being our import. And basically that's it. We thought that on the last 4 games, we thought that our defense really held up, but we had trouble converting when we got defensive stops. So it's a lot to look at and work on. The coaching staff, my colleague leagues, who really has done a great job identifying the things we need to improve on, and as soon as we step on the floor later, we'll start working on those things.
Coach, we know Northport is a solid team. They have good pieces. They have Slaughter, Bolick, they got Arwin, they have Jamie Malonzo. Well, at least yun nga, yung mga locals nila. But so far, minamala sila. Yung nabanggit mo nga kanina, you could have been a 4-0 team. You could have also been a 0-4 team. Well, Northport is a 0-4 team after 4 games in the Governor's Cup. But their record, I believe, doesn't really speak about how good they can be. They have their import Cameron Forte, but they've had lots of time to adjust and prepare for your game next week. Last na laro nila, tagal na, December 17 pa. How are you approaching this game? Because I'm sure Northport is bound to win one of their games, and you don't want that at your expense. But what will be your biggest concern against Northport Batang Pier, Coach Josh?
Yeah, exactly what you said. Northport is due for a win, and that's really tough. With the law of averages on how they're playing, that's really a tough task for us to try to handle or avoid. To tell you the truth, Northport is now the team that nobody wants to play.
Yeah.
So if you I believe that if you ask all the top teams, who don't you want to play in the at the beginning of the playoffs? The mostly the answer would be Northport because they are really a scary, dangerous young team. Walang kinakatakutan yung team na to. They find ways to win. I don't see any disadvantages sa roster nila. Hindi sila, di ba? Hindi sila lugi sa pabilisan, hindi sila lugi sa athleticism, hindi rin sila lugi sa size.
Yeah.
So it's every time you will play this squad, you know that you'll be in for a tough and competitive night.
It's going to be a good game, though, for sure. And
For sure, it's going to be exciting. Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting
I
game.
love how Northport plays. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah. Especially on the break. Pag nag-break na sila and then yung Bolick pati Malonzo, ganda ng connection nila.
Yeah.
And then yung pick and pop situation nila din ni Bolick and ni Arwin, and then you still have that big man Greg Slaughter there. It's gonna be a good game for sure.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun basketball out there.
Now, it's a good interview with Coach Josh Reyes.